Thank you very much, Sean. Well, you know, baseball and the 4th of July go hand in hand, but up until recently, a local boy's dream of playing ball was nearly impossible. That is until he met a doctor from Hasbro. Take a look.
Trotting to first on a base on balls, no big deal in the game of baseball. But for 14-year-old Doug Ferry, it's monumental.
Just feel like normal. It feels better, like I'm just playing normally, like how anyone else would. No one actually on the team knows, so it's like no one actually knows it. So it's kind of like easy.
Up until recently, though, watching Doug trot the bases was an impossibility. He couldn't run because his stomach was enormously distended. It's a rare condition called neurogenic bowel. Simply put, he was so severely constipated that his life was miserable from the time he got up to the time he went to sleep. Pure misery. That is until he met this pediatric surgeon at Hasbro Children's Hospital.
Go in and have a seat.
In essence, what this doctor did was reroute Doug's internal plumbing. Sounds easy, but trust me, it wasn't.
It's an operation in which we use the appendix and connect it to the front of the abdomen, and we hide the appendix in the umbilicus. It serves as an entry into the colon so that we can actually flush the colon contents out while he's using the bathroom.
Doug's biggest fan is his mom, who never thought she'd see the day when he would not only be able to play sports, but just be a normal kid.
It's a huge relief. You can't do anything else but be elated that your kid can finally be part of the team, be a contributing member of anything. But I don't know, I guess I just learned to kind of hide it all because I didn't want him to know that before was bad, so now it's good.
Doug might not be the best player on the team, but he's got everyone beat hands down when it comes to attitude and that can-do spirit.
In 8 years, Doug is one of the best people that I've ever coached. Take away his medical issue, and he's an outstanding person. When you factor that in, he becomes, an even bigger person in my eyes. For all he has to go through, but yet he's just a coach's dream.
One last note, Doug wanted us to highlight this disorder in hopes that it might help others who suffer with it walk with their heads held high. That's what Doug does now because up until recently, his teammates were kept in the dark about his sensitive condition.
They're good. Sometimes, they bust while joking around, and sometimes one of them, gets me on my nerves, and, we fight, but we're all friends.
They're all friends. That's great. Joining us now is Doug and his mother, Judy Ferry. Good morning to both you guys.
How you doing?
Hello.
I'm doing okay. Question is, how are you doing?
Good.
How do you feel?
Good.
Now, you had a very rare disease.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the name of it?
Colonic neuropathy.
Okay. And in essence, and I don't want to get into too much detail, but in essence, what that means is that you were extremely constipated. Is that correct?
Yeah.
To the point where it was very, very discomfort.
Yeah.
Discomfort. You went and you saw some doctors over at Hasbro. They rearranged your piping, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you're much better now. Although you still do some maintenance work. I don't want to get into too technical of it, but there's still some things that you have to do to maintain regular bowel movements.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, every night.
A couple hours a night too, right?
Yeah.
Get to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, sometimes, but it's what you gotta do.
It's much better than it was before.
Yeah.
What was it like when you were going through this? Were you living a life of secrecy? I mean, did too many people know what was going on?
No one really knew, except my family.
So you never told any of your friends on the baseball team?
Nope.
I mean, when you were playing, you couldn't run before. Did anybody ever ask, well, why can't you run the bases?
Sometimes, but I really just never said anything.
You guys know now?
Not really, but now they will.
Now they will, that's right. Mom, what was it like for you? This must be very difficult as a mother to see your son suffer this way. And I guess until you found the doctors at Hasbro, just kind of like, man, where do you go? Where do you turn? What do you do? Sort of helplessness. Was that the feeling?
We always knew there was something wrong. It just was a matter of putting diagnosis on it and figuring out how to fix it. And as many times as, like they'll tell you, a little knowledge is troublesome. So every time we'd find out a little bit more was going wrong, and I would think it was something else, and they'd say, no, it's just normal. And it's kind of tough to fight the battle. But once we finally got a hold of it, and he feels much better, he's doing great with it.
Now, the funny thing is when I interviewed you and some of the stuff I left out, you guys joke about this condition quite often.
Yeah, yes.
It's a source of sense of humor in the house, you know?
Yeah.
I understand you tell your sister, back off the bathroom, I'm going to be in there for a while. Right?
Yeah.
Got to keep people away, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was one bathroom. 4 people in the house. You got to know when things are taking place. There's a schedule you got to keep.
How do you feel now, Mom? You got to be elated just that something like this has happened.
Oh, it's much better. It's great to see him feeling a lot better and at least knowing what was wrong with him, because you know when you don't know, you keep asking questions and you're not getting any answers, and because it's so unique, it's tough to see him when you can't get them to feel better.
Well, we're glad you got the answers. I'm glad to meet you. You're an inspiration to me
Thank
and a
you.
whole lot of other people out there. Never quit. And a kid with some of the problems you have that smile like that, God bless you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.